We're live.
Oh, we're live. We're live. Oh, yeah. We're live. Okay.
That was I got trigger happy.
Oh, okay.
My
well,
bad.
It's Monday. It's Monday. It's time for us to start your work week. Hold on. Oops. Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. Look at that. All the computers are talking now.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Is
good morning,
Monday,
Joe.
March 14th, right? Yeah, 14th.
14th.
2022. It's your day, Daphne.
It's my launch day. Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. And we'll get to you guys in just a minute. Check out this intro. Let me get back to this tab over here.
Okay. I know, right?
There you are.
There's a lot going on today. There's a lot going on right now. It's like I was just posting up links in the chat because I usually do it like once I realized I guess the stream is set up, but then when it's about to go live, all my links have disappeared. So I'm not sure if I'm putting them up too early or not.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so I'm just putting them up right now. So yeah, so Mike, yeah, so you're gonna run off and have some of that sugar crisp. So so you have fun there. We'll be over here. So good morning, everybody. This exciting Monday. What is it? Monday the 14th. Yes. So good morning, everyone. Hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, so you would think this would be old hat for me right now, but it's not. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales. But today is not this day. This is volume 4 comes out later on this year. But I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. Jesus, I can't even say its name. Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which launches today at 4 p.m. Eastern on Kickstarter. And in the meantime, by the way, you can read both of my comics online at Tall Tales, Tails online.com and egoworks.com, EGOWRKS. And if you're joining us on Facebook and Twitter, please come on over to YouTube where you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on my own channel, and here also streaming through the Ragin channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art. Nita.
Yo.
Who are you?
My name is Nita Lanning, and I am CEO and executive producer of the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network.
There we go. Oh, and George, I yes, I did receive your shirt. So
we're not twinning though.
We're not twinning though, because I gotta represent my peeps today. Today is my launch day, so so my peeps are gonna get the shirt love today. But your shirt is here though. So I did get it. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So today, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. This is. Yeah. So my fourth issue. And I don't know why I'm nervous. I don't. Oh. No, so 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock is when I start my.
This is the
Thank you,
first
sir.
time she hasn't even let me behind the scenes, Joe.
What? What?
Yeah,
What?
I haven't seen your Kickstarter at all.
Oh, really? I thought I sent you a link a while. Oh, but then again, it was in the middle of a lot of stuff happening, so maybe,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe I missed it.
right, yeah. But yeah. So I'll be launching it today at 4. Well, I'll be doing my launch party stream at 4 o'clock, and then I should be starting. I should be launching the actual campaign a little after 4 o'clock. Um, but yeah, so the link to so the link to my launch party as well is in the chat. Um, so yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know why I don't stop getting nervous about this. I guess it's like it's been like each each campaign requires so much planning that when it finally hits, I'm like, oh my god, did I do everything right?
I think it's adorable because, like, in my head, you were Daphne Lage. I'm not saying I knocked you off your pedestal, but you kind of stepped down a little bit.
Right. It's like I turned mortal.
You're mortal now.
I'm mortal now. Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah, it's yeah, so oh yeah, and if you're noticing, yeah, I'm still wearing my arthritis glove. I was supposed to do some more editing and stuff this weekend, but after finishing, oh yes, I finished. That was my big thing for the weekend. I finished penciling Eagle Raven issue 7.
Nice.
All the pencils are done. So these are layouts that have been sitting around for like, I don't know, since 2015. Like that's how far in advance I did these layouts, and I just finished them. I think like 2 days ago, and thank you, George. And it just like it was kind of like the second I saw it was done, it was like my wrist collapsed. I was like, oh, we're finished. No more work.
Done.
Closed. So so I had to take pretty much the weekend off from doing, I guess, like drawing and computer stuff because, yeah, this was like going, no, you're not. So, but that's the price we pay, right? But that's also the thing that we were talking about before about knowing our limits so that we can continue doing the work as opposed to hurting ourselves and then not being able to do the work at all. So,
right.
So yeah, it's yeah, you always got to take breaks, always got to, exercise your wrists and whatnot. It's very important. But yeah, I'm nervous, Nita.
I can't. I just think it's cute.
It's like, issue 4. I mean, I have it right
You're
here.
still a goddess, Daphne.
It's
you got
done.
This.
It's
you
like
got this.
It's done. Also, this is probably the first time in a while that I'm going back to doing my live streaming again. So I have the new setup. So I'm hoping cool. So I'm hoping that my setup works the way it should. Although what I'm going to be doing is working on this computer because I'm going to be coloring some Kickstarter rewards on digitally. I'm going to be coloring some Kickstarter rewards. So so hopefully that'll work out. Oh, you got an alarm going off.
Yeah, where though?
Uh-oh. Oh yeah, so Nita got all her equipment updated. So now her internet should be working too good right now. Oh. So
it's scary.
Right. Because
Like,
now everything is functioning.
It's like you could see what I look like.
Right, yeah, exactly. No, for real, you haven't been this clear on my screen for a while. So aside from Eagle Raven, or the first unicorn launching today at 4 o'clock Eastern, do we have other housekeeping? Oh yeah, we have long shots. Yes, so we have long shots, 7 publishers, 9 books, one big deal. Actually, the best deal you will find on crowdfunding today. 9 books for the price of what you usually get one book on Indiegogo and Kickstarter for. So, and this is like the perfect gift. It's like if you have like a bunch of friends and you've never tried out a campaign, supporting a campaign before, this is the one to do it. You are going to find something for everybody that they're going to love in this campaign. We have every genre, every type of story, everything. We have anthologies, we have all ages, we have dark fantasy, we have furry fantasy, we have it runs everything here.
Fantasy.
We have everything going on here. So if you've never tried a lot of independent comics before and you don't know where to start, well, I'm telling you where to start, and it's on the Long Shots campaign on Indiegogo. We have, 26 days left or something? 26 days left on this campaign. Support a cool group of guys who created these awesome comics for you to enjoy, so there you go.
And speaking of cool guys,
and then we have the Oswald Chronicles by J.D. Calderon. That one should be launching next Monday, so it's going to be one crowdfunder after another in this place. It launches next Monday, although on the 21st of March. Although, knowing JD, he's going to launch it whenever he feels like launching it on that day. There is no set time. So make sure you sign up for the launch page so that you get notified the second he decides to press that launch button, which could mean either, before he goes to work or just when he's getting out of bed. It could be at any time. It's a surprise. You never know. But, he has some first day early bird specials as well that's only going to be available for either 24 or 48 hours. So make sure that you're notified. You click on that link and you're notified when it goes live. And it's this crowdfunding thing. I don't know. Like I said, I have yet to get used to it. It's like between Oswald, Tall Tales, and Eager Raven and my sketchbooks. I mean, I lost count as to how. I know it's more than 20 campaigns.
Wow.
You would think it would get easier, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's like every campaign is just a brand new lesson to learn, and then taking that and applying it to the next campaign. But it's like it never seems to get easier though. I mean, that's the thing that I don't know, like people when it's like, oh, you did so many campaigns, you must know what you're doing, and it's like, no, no, I don't.
But you do. You learn something new. There it is. Oh my God.
What happened? I
lost my JD pen. And
and you found it. There you go. Yeah. That's good. Hooray! The good pen. Right. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with crowdfunding in general. That if it's one thing that I learn is that there is. It doesn't get easier for me. It doesn't. They know it's coming.
Before he goes, we should do something.
Oh, okay.
We should totally talk about our schedule.
Oh, yes. Okay. So this is our updated schedule currently, because I'm going to have to change it again.
So, like, Monday and Friday, you have us. Tuesday, you have C. Michael, Randy, and Stone with Dispatches from Outside the Box. Wednesday, we're going to have Daphne in the afternoon, and Randy in the evening. Let's see, Thursday mornings, we're going to have Luke and Nick with Nerd Bacon. And then, we can have our Sunday funnies in the morning. And in the evening, JD's going to wrap it up. But there's a day missing in there. There's nothing on Saturday.
Nothing on Saturday?
But wait, there's more.
Really? Really?
Yes, really.
Wow, that's the first. Wow, I'm impressed by that bump. Wow, look at that.
That will be starting the second Saturday in April, which will be April the 9th. That'll be 10 a.m. Eastern. So yeah.
Oh wow. Look at the Ragin family growing. Oh, they grow up so fast.
Oh yes.
So that kind of gives us every day then.
That's every day.
That's every day.
Sometimes twice a day. And before it's over with, it'll be 3 times a day.
Wow. Dang. Wow. Zucchinis. We're going to be eating zucchinis for days. For weeks. Wow. So there you go. So if you so everybody who was crying because we're not doing a 5-day show anymore, look, we got plenty of other shows to take up that time.
So much going on.
Yeah, we got so much going on here. So yeah, that's
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's just kind of, weird. It's like how quickly everything is just like coming together, I guess. All our, it's like all our friends are hanging out, and we're all hanging out. And
the band got back together.
The band got back together, yes. Now we just got to find a hall to play in so we can raise money for the orphanage.
It's coming. It's coming. I sent out some emails last night.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's Michaela, if your fourth one, that's okay. It's going to be like your first one. It's going to be like your 30th one. It never changes.
Never.
So yeah, because what happened is that also JD is using what would I call her? I guess another
a marketer?
Another marketer, maybe.
Yeah.
I think maybe that would be, but she's giving like a lot of like really personalized advice with the campaign. I guess it was kind of like the thing that Meredith would do, and so I've been taking a lot of the things that he keeps repeating to me that she's telling him, and then applying it where I can in the campaign. So so I get to see whether that works for me as well. So I have 2 early bird specials. I have just I don't know. Yeah, if you want more detail about my campaign, join me at 4:00 today on my channel, and even here, I'm going to be broadcasting here through the Ragin Network. Join me on my launch party. We're going to go through the campaign. We're going to see what you guys get in the first 48 hours of the campaign. The first 40 people who pledge to a physical level are getting, and then we'll just follow the numbers and do some work and have a good time for about 2 hours, and see how that goes. Will I be able to fund in 2 hours, Nita? Is that the goal here? Will I be able to fund by the end of my live stream? That's the question we will be answering later today.
I have faith in you, Lage.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm nervous. It's just so much planning, and it's like, and the thing is too is that so last campaign, I made I squeaked past 5,000, which is my highest campaign that I've ever run, personally, solo campaign, and and. Now for this one, the big experiment is if I can get my campaign to 6. So oh well, yeah. Oh, I'm far from old enough for early bird specials. And
winning.
What? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like.
Yes.
So I will just be happy if I can make this a 6K campaign. That I would be happy just to do that. Now that's of course not my goal. That the goal, my actual goal on the campaign is 1,500. that guarantees the book. Well, the book is guaranteed to be printed anyway, but that's the goal. And of course, as you know, it's completed already. I mean, I literally just have to send the book to the printer, and that's it. But you know, it's here. It exists. But my personal goal is I would like to hit 6K. That would be nice. And because of that goal, I'm going to be working on a special stretch goal today on my live stream, where if we hit 6K, everybody who pledges gets a bonus story as a PDF. And it's a full color 8-page story. And this will be the only way to get this story until I collect all of these shorts in their own trade in 2024, 2025. So, you know, I'm going to be starting everybody collecting these PDFs. But we have to make it to 6K to start the collection. So that's so we'll talk more about that on my live stream today, which I'm also nervous about because, like I said, I haven't done a live stream by myself in a while, so
you'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be the new setup and everything. So
you're a pro, Daphne.
I only play one on TV, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express. Oh my goodness! So we have a guest coming up later today.
We sure do. He ought to be popping in any minute.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, because I just wanted to talk really quick about something that I saw today on Twitter. So you saw that because I heard you talking about it, that movie, Something Red.
Turning Red. That was a great movie.
So I haven't seen it because like I just don't have the attention span for it right now. So but it seems that there was this review going around that people were goofing on Twitter about somebody saying how that they had to shut off the movie within like 10 minutes because they go, one, it's obviously that they weren't the audience. Okay, whatever, I can accept that.
I'll accept that.
Right, but they said that what really made them turn it off was within like the first 10 minutes of the movie, there's a 13-year-old girl writing fanfic. She's either writing or drawing fanfic.
Because you know what? That's reality, and I'll prove that to you right here. What up?
All right. Oh, is that a first?
That's a first.
That's a Nita? That is a baby Nita?
That is baby Nita in the making. Right. That is my mini me's first furry.
Oh.
And it is a
baby's first
furry. That movie was so real that it may as well be based on my daughter.
Wow, that's why she got uptight about it, right?
To the point it was talking about and just doing a random cartwheel, and she just flipped. It is my youngest to a T. Whoever had that nailed a preteen girl.
Right.
Just nailed it.
Right.
It was excellent.
Right. So they were like saying that they were uncomfortable at the idea, like, oh, that can't be real.
Oh, bullshit.
And of course, everybody on Twitter is like going, of course, it's beyond real. You know, and even I kind of got offended at the idea that it's like that they thought that was made up. That, oh, girls don't write fanfic that young. It's like, yeah,
I was writing fanfic at 7 years old.
Right, exactly. Oh, it starts much younger than that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You know? As soon as I could write in cursive.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It was
I mean,
dirty.
the idea that you could expose your children practically from birth to corporate media and not expect them to creatively interact with it by the second they figure out how to hold a pencil, I thought was an insane idea. Like, how could you even think that? Like, how out of touch are you that it's like how much do you not pay attention that you don't know what they're doing? that I mean, it's like there's a reason why I cosplayed at a convention Tina Belcher for a reason.
I loved it.
If you want to see that photo, go to my Facebook. It's on my Facebook page. Yes, I cosplayed Tina Belcher.
And it's an awesome cosplay. Yeah. Awesome.
Which coincidentally were normal clothing for me, so I didn't have to stretch it that much. So, but it was just really funny just to like fanfic is how I process information.
Right.
I mean, it's like all the fanfic that I used to come up with back in those days, that it was, yeah, exactly. If we, I mean, it's like the second I glommed onto a character, there was fanfic. And it's like, and it especially started when I saw The Secret of Nim for the first time.
That would be 3 minutes, Glenn.
Right, yeah, it's like, it's like,
put the pants on and hop in here.
Yeah, no, for real, right? And just really thinking about it, and then it's like, I know, right? I play that game at conventions where it's like, is that cosplay or is it just clothing? So, but yeah, it was just like, the second I glommed onto a character, the fanfic existed,
right?
And just, it's like that's how I process stories. I mean, it's like the germ, the seed that created Eagle Raven started in She-Ra fanfic. How could it not?
Oh my god!
I mean, the germ
was my first fanfic.
Right, exactly. Although I do have to admit
that Catra had some serious shit going on.
Well, that's why the new
Before
cartoon
they did it.
Yeah, right. So and then it's like I remembered that it's like, oh my god, it's like I forgot all about like Voltron and Battle of the Planets. Like, how can you mix hot anime guys with budding puberty and not get fanfic? How can you do that? Impossible, I say. Inconceivable. So this person who said that 13-year-old girls writing fan fiction made them uncomfortable, and it's like, oh, honey, have I got news for you?
Was writing some good fanfic at 11. It wasn't. I would not say it was sexualized, right. But obviously that crosses the youngins' minds too.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, it's like it's just how we process. It's how we process information. And sometimes, that's just, I mean, even to this day, sometimes I still write fanfic when I'm trying to figure something out. And, that's
Welcome
my tweet.
Home. Welcome home.
That's my tweet. Thank you, Patrick. He's copying my tweet.
Oh, that's your tweet?
That's my tweet.
Well,
yeah.
Well, then you're right where you belong, Daphne.
Exactly. And My Little Pony. It's true. And, so even to this day, I still use fanfic to try to figure out some things. Because what fanfic does is that it takes a lot of thinking out. So I can focus on on the problem I'm trying to solve. And then I take, I mean, it's like, look, it's like if everyone who follows me on Facebook, you know about my disaster son, Loki. Right? Yes, so that started out as fanfic, as Tom Hiddleston fanfic. And then I go, okay, how do I incorporate this concept without giving Disney the time of day?
and then did it.
And that's how it starts. But to say that fanfic has no validity is absolutely ridiculous. And yes, I could go on for another hour.
But
but
we have somebody knocking on our door, so we need to throw a bump.
Right, and and luckily I just vacuumed, so we're good. So okay, so we are prepared for our guest coming right up after this bump. But show.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the Craze. Making moves on your own. Catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets. Catch the Craze. Join the movement. Catch the Craze.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Hello, Mr. Fleming.
Hello, the man that needs no introduction, but because you've done so much, it probably would be best for you to introduce yourself.
I think it would be a good idea if I learned how to tell the time. I was going on in and out. What time is it there now? 11:30?
It's 11:30.
All right. Well, that's
right.
Well, okay. Well, your clocks went back, didn't they?
Yeah, and we're still suffering from it.
And I can't add up. So anyway, hello everybody. I'm Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher, and hopefully, we're here to talk about this today.
Oh, absolutely.
But you can find all my stuff on Amazon. I write lots of books about different things: science fiction, children's books, adult humor books, JFK assassination books, soccer books, whatever you want, I'll do it. I can do it. And they're all there on Amazon for you to pick up.
Yeah.
But this is the one.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Because it's a book and a DVD set, right?
Yeah. You get a DVD. There's only one sort of tier, whatever you call it, on this campaign. You get the book and you get the DVD. That's the whole thing. There's no perks or anything. There's nothing I can offer. I can't offer Kirby artwork, right. and I wouldn't anyway. So
right, yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, it's a 124-page hardback, full color, obviously. Lots of photographs of me with Jack and Rosie's wife. This kind of thing.
And it's a transcript of the interview that you had, or
yeah. Mm-hmm. There's lots going on. The film, the original film, was launched in 2017, and it marked Jack's 100th, what would have been Jack's 100th birthday, and that was shown at a local theatre to an invited audience of about, I think it was about 35 or 40 people there. Comic professionals and journalists and things like that. And then what I decided to do this time around was I'd found some old footage and I've re-edited it and I put it together. So what you get with this is the original trailer, the like an intro with all with some of the photographs. Then you get me babbling for 20 minutes about meeting Kirby, and then you get 45 minutes of me talking to Jack in his studio. And then you get the Q&A that we held after the theatre screening. And then you get lots of little bits, slow bits and minor bits where the audio failed and the film failed and all this kind of thing. So
kind of like
it just lasts sort of, I think it's just sort of short of 2 hours. But it's historic, it's unique. You never see this kind of stuff. You see films of Jack at conventions and things like that for 5 minutes, but this is in his house. And I was lucky enough to go twice. Now, in the book, all that is the transcript of the film, of the DVD, and the Q&A is in the book, but it's also my prose of me getting there and what happened, how I got to get there, and all that kind of thing that isn't covered in the film. So it's complete. If you don't want to watch the film tonight, you can read about it in that, or you can watch the film, or whatever you want to do.
Right, and where? So is this on Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
Indiegogo.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So Nita will put links to that in the show notes as well.
It's cleared the goal. What I wanted to put it out there. It's cleared that. I cleared that last week, but it's slowed down a bit. But there's it's 150% or something I've got. So that's pretty typical. So okay. So here's the campaign. Yeah.
Now the thing is though, I've learned my lesson. Oh yeah, that's the bird. Yes, I've learned my lesson with you not to joke about accomplishments. Because I remember making a joke about you climbing Mount Everest, and then a couple of days later, you send me a photo of you at the base camp.
He's done it all.
Yeah,
he's done it all.
So it's like, you are obviously a person who it's like, you are not. If you say you're going to do something, you're going to do something. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what made you decide that it's like, okay, I did Everest, I went to Easter Island, I'm going to go meet Jack Kirby. How did that happen?
Don't forget. Let me throw this in as well. I won't say the only because I don't know. I was the first person in the history of the planet, civilian, to land the space shuttle, not the real one, in the simulator. And I landed it, and I've got it down. And they interviewed me afterwards about it, as they thought I was a pilot because of what I did. And what I did was, I'll tell you briefly. It's really great. You're there in this little sort of studio thing with this simulator thing, and there's all these little buttons and lights. It's just like you see on 2001. It's brilliant. But you come in at 27 degrees, and you're virtually just nose diving for the ground. Now, don't forget that the space shuttle is a glider, effectively.
Right, yeah.
You've got one chance to get it down. You can't go around again. You've got to get it down, otherwise you're dead, right? So I'm coming down, and what happens is on the screen that you're looking at, you can see it's cloud, and when the cloud breaks, you can see the runway, and the runway starts standing on its end because of the way you're approaching it, and you have to bring and level out. So you're going down, and there's somebody bugging you in the helmet, telling you that you're going too fast and to operate your flaps and all this kind of stuff. So you're doing all this thing, and you come and you bring it down, and this girl is this woman, should I say, is telling me I was going too fast. I'm doing 400 knots. Now, when the real space shuttle, when those tires, when you see the rear tires hit the tarmac, it's traveling at 350 miles an hour. Which is as fast as we fly when we're up in the stratosphere, wherever we are, right? It's going really fast. And they have a drone parachute and all that kind of thing. So because these guys are good, right? These guys are the best. They get it down. They know what they're doing. They put it down. So I'm coming in, and just before I'm about to touch, this person in the helmet tells me I'm going too fast. I'm doing 400 knots or whatever it is, and which is too fast. And I'm applying the air brakes. I've got the flaps down. The drones come out. The parachutes come out, and I'm still going too fast. And I'm going to crash. I'm going to die.
Oh no!
So, back in 1981, when the space shuttle first flew, on STS-2 it was commanded by Joe Engle, and he should have walked on the moon, but that's another story. He didn't go. He got bumped for Jack Schmidt, but that's another story. So he was the commander of the second space shuttle flight, and I watched this live. And him being a test pilot and knowing what he's doing, right? When he was coming in, when he's got the wheels on the ground, he did what's called a flare. He pulled the stick back, and the pressure of the atmosphere brings the wings up, and he's brought it to a halt. And I remember he got in trouble for doing that because it's $1 billion vehicle, and he's basically messing about. But he's a test pilot. He's not a fool, and he knows what he's doing. So I remember this girl saying, "You're going too fast. You're going too fast." She's saying to me, "You're not going to make it." So I remembered what he did. So I flared it, and it stopped. And they all went apeshit because I'd broken the rules. So they'd rather you died.
So pretty much you did the real life equivalent of what's it called, the Kobayashi Maru or something?
Yeah, I changed the rules. Yeah, that's right. I've never thought of that before. Yeah.
Oh my God! See.
So anyway, so it comes to a halt, and that's it. You're down. I was down, and obviously I was very pleased because otherwise, I guess the screen would have gone black, and I would have been sort of dead. So I come out of this little thing where you are, and this girl came up to me and she said, "Oh, can I have a word with you?" So I said, "Yeah," and she said, so she asked me who I was and all this kind of thing, and then she said, "How long have you been a pilot?" Well, I said, "I'm not a pilot. I'm not."
Wow.
So I've been in a lot of planes, but I've never flown one. And she said, "Well, why did you do that maneuver?" So I told her that I'd seen Joe Engle do it 30 years previously.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't even know who Joe Engle was. She was probably about 25, so he did this before she was born.
Oh,
I said, "You don't know who Joe Engle was, you know." So anyway, yeah, sorry.
No, absolutely not, sir. There was no sorries here. So of course you went. So there you go. So you climbed Mount Everest, you visit Easter Island, you go to NASA, you fly the shuttle. So of course you're going to go meet Jack Kirby, right?
Yeah. Well, what I did was I went on holiday to Barbados and met these American people from California. And I was also best man for them. They were getting married. I'd only known them 2 days and I was best man. Right. So anyway, so we're talking and we're having a laugh and everything. And we were telling each other where we came from and all that kind of thing. And so I asked them if they lived near a place called Thousand Oaks. Because what had happened, I just got back into comics again. Because I left comics for 10 years. I got back in and I saw Jack Kirby comics and all this. And I wondered if he was still alive because I know he'd be sort of getting on with 70 odd or something now. And it was in the back of my mind. And then I found out he was alive. And this is in the back of my mind. I fly to Barbados for my holiday and I meet these people. And I just happened to mention this Thousand Oaks place where I knew, or the last time I'd heard Jack Kirby lived in a place called Thousand Oaks. And they said, yeah. We know where that is. It's an hour away from where they live in Anaheim. And so I said, so they said, why? So I told them, and neither of them had heard of Jack Kirby. And I told them who he was and what he did and all this kind of thing. I said, you'll have heard, you'll know his creations like Captain America, you know, and all that sort. And they knew about that. And then they left, and it was like, you know, you must have been on holiday where you meet people. Yes, Grant, he is. You know, you must have been on holiday where you meet people and you have a great time and you swap addresses and you never hear from them again. You never contact them, they never contact you, and that's because it's that sort of holiday friendship. So I didn't expect to hear anything. So we get back, and there's a letter already there. We got there at the beginning of the end of their holiday. So do you understand what I mean? So they were gone, and it was 2 weeks. We stayed there 2 weeks, and we got back, and there was a letter from the United States, from Suzanne, the girl, Suzanne and Bob. And she's saying we had a great time and blah, 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 and all this kind of thing. And then she says, tell Glenn that Jack Kirby says hello, and here's his telephone number.
Wow.
Wow. So I thought, right, okay. And every night from work, I'd come home and I'd look at this letter and I'd look at this telephone number. Now, back in those days when it was just landlines,
right.
Transatlantic phone calls to America are really expensive, right? So I thought, I can't ring this number and it not be him. Anyway, my partner at the time got so sick of me looking at this letter every night from work for 3 weeks. She said, look, ring the number. If it is, it is. And if it's not, just put the phone down. Which I know is obvious, but I've got these. I want to ring this number. I want to see if it's the guy. So I did. I rang this number, and this lady answered it. And I introduced myself, and I said, "Are you the wife of Jack Kirby, the comics fan?" And she said, "Yes, I'll put him on." I thought,
wait, what?
So
I gotta talk to him now?
Yeah, so he comes on, and I've talked to him for about an hour. You know, it cost a fortune, but so what? Who cares? And then I said to him, "Would I be able to?" I was coming out to the States the following year, and would it be okay if I came to see him? And he said, "Yeah." And his funny thing was, I think he thought I was about 12 because he said, "Who are you coming with? You come with your parents?" And I said, "No."
Oh wow.
I was 33, well, 32. I was 32 then, and so I said no. Anyway, so I went out there, and then what happened? I think we got there on a Tuesday, and Roz said I wrote to them and I rang them a couple of times in the year before I went, and Roz said to me, "Ring us as soon as you get in." So we flew to LA to Anaheim, and I asked to use the phone and all that, and I rang this number and I told her it was Glenn and all this kind of thing. She said, "Oh, great," and I'm thinking, we're going now, and she said, "Come on Friday," which is 4 days. We went, "Oh no, I'm gonna wait 4 days." Anyway, we went out there and they were great, and we had lunch and everything, and all the pictures are in the book, and had a fantastic time. But what I try to do, you see, I always try to do things twice, because I always think it's not easy to do things once, but harder to do it twice. Do you understand what I mean?
Right.
So I thought, I'm going to go back there, and I did. So I went twice.
So why not, right?
Yeah, it's like when you publish your book,
right?
You've got to do that. You've got to do another one, because I always think like anybody can do anything, but can they do it twice?
Right.
You see, so that's what I did. I went again, and then it was great. It was great, and this is what this book and this film is all about.
So when there was one question that I really was looking to ask you for this is, did Jack Kirby have a real idea as to how his work influenced everything? I mean,
yes.
He knew.
Yeah, he knew exactly what was going down. Yeah. I think when you read about him, he's sort of quite naive in some ways, but that's easy for us to say with hindsight, with what happened with the copyrights and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, he was well aware. He was well aware of of his contribution to the comics industry, and he was well aware of what he was worth. Mm-hmm. It's just that he didn't get that worth at the time, which is a shame.
Because I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I remember him describing like what he did as like being a plumber. That he just looked at what he was doing, like he was just working. Like he didn't really feel like he was creating art, he was just working.
No, I think he said to me, it's an art form. He said it's an American art form, which I have to dispute, because I think there were comics everywhere, comic strips. Because I mean, the first comic strip that we know about, that we've seen, apart from what's probably on the walls of the pyramids, is the one that Leonardo da Vinci had, and he was 400 and 500 years ago. So I would dispute that. I didn't at the time, but I would dispute that. But he I think initially I don't know, that this is my opinion, right? So I don't know, but I think initially when he was, don't forget, he created Captain America with Joe Simon when he was 23.
Wow.
Right. Now bear that in mind. And at the time, I think he was aware that he had this talent. He was aware that he could make some money, because he did make a lot of money. I mean, he wasn't a poor man. He wasn't as rich as he should have been, but he wasn't a poor man. And he knew he was good at it. And in 1940-41, when Captain America came out, that was the first of that kind. And I know it came after Superman and Batman. But I know Batman doesn't have powers, but he was sort of this mystical character, wasn't he? And he created Captain America because they wanted a hero, because they knew the war was coming and all that kind of thing. But they also made a lot of money because he did a lot of other things like Boy Commandos and all these kind of things. And he made a lot of money. And so, yeah, he was quite aware of what he was doing, I think, right from the get-go, because he was, like I say, he was only 23 and Joe Simon was 26 when they created Captain America. Because I always say this, I've said this before, that you don't learn that, like I say, the thing I say is that I've been singing every day for 60 years, but I still don't sound like Marvin Gaye.
Right, yeah.
Right? And it's called talent, because Marvin Gaye was singing like that when he was 5, when he was in the church. So he didn't have a lot of time to practice, did he? Mm-hmm. So, but Kirby was the same. Kirby, I know we do improve, as artists and writers and singers, we do improve, hopefully. But I think there's a thing called talent in there. Yeah. Especially with something like Kirby, because of all the stuff that he did. Yeah. But he was well aware of what he was doing. Mm-hmm. So, but the war interrupted him, and that obviously came out later in his work. Right,
because Kirby is one of these artists. Now, because for me, Kirby is one of these artists that, I always knew of him, but I didn't understand what he was doing until I was much older. So I didn't really get into his artwork until much later.
Do you mean in his work?
Yeah, his work. Yeah, like Kirby is like I've always remembered JD talking about Kirby when even from the beginning when I met him.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand because a lot of people tend to be put off by the style, but the thing is though, it's like only like these past couple of years that I really felt like I was able to look at his artwork and begin to understand what he was doing. Like, you don't have to be a fan of the style, but it was something he was doing with it that was important.
It's that laboured word, isn't it? It's storytelling.
Uh-huh.
That's basically where his strength is. I know he draws dynamic explosions and characters and fantastic designs and all this kind of thing, but it's basic storytelling, and it's the same with Steve Ditko. He has a quirky style. That takes a bit of getting used to, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is telling the story. The telling the story is all. You draw, I draw, and we have different styles, but it's the telling of the story.
Right.
And that's why if you think of a comic book, the most important part is the pictures because of the storytelling. Because to me, the words are scenery. You don't need to know that guy's called Reed Richards. You don't need to know that guy's called Thor, but you see what he does.
Right, yeah.
And that's the storytelling aspect of it. And that's why when you get writers like Alan Moore, who wrote Watchmen, have you seen his scripts? He writes a full script. He describes the doorknob. He describes the picture on the wall.
He's very anal retentive.
Which to me, as an artist, would drive me crazy because I want some input in there. But that's testament to Dave Gibbons' work because his work is superb. So, but Kirby did both. He wrote them and he drew them, and that's what he always said, that he wrote those comics, and that's what he means. Because he used to spend his time when he was a kid watching James Cagney on the black and whites, and Humphrey Bogart and Bela Lugosi, those kind of people. He watched those films, which the storytelling is superb even now. It's the best, and he studied that. So his dynamic characters and bursting out the page was his conscious decision to make it more dynamic. But the ultimate thing is the storytelling, so that you look at the pictures like a silent movie. You look at the pictures and you know what's going on, and that's where a lot of comics fail. You don't know what's going on, but they look nice.
Right, yeah, but that's all it is. It's kind of like a very superficial,
but you get
gloss over everything.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the artwork today because all it is some magnificent chested girl saying to Doctor Do, "Here I am."
Right.
Whereas when Jack would always draw Sue Richard hiding behind Ben Grimm. Not that there's any because he's a guy. The guys always protect the women. Nothing wrong with that. We're stronger than you are.
Well, of course.
We might not be smarter than you, but we're stronger than you. And I'd rather stand behind Ben Grimm than in front of him. Because he's going to help me. He's going to save me, isn't he? Right. And that's not putting Stu Richards down or women down. I love women are fantastic.
Oh, I think so too. No, because there was this picture. Because also it's like there was like a certain confidence in, I guess, I don't know. It's like there's a certain bombastic nature to his artwork that I don't think, like, if anybody else had done it, it would have looked ridiculous. But when Kirby did it, it was like, yes, it's like, it's obvious it looked, of course it would be like that. Like, there was this one picture of Galactus, and it's Galactus, and he's overlooking the Earth, and because he's a giant and whatnot, and it's all done in these incredibly fluorescent colors and whatnot, and it looked so normal.
Yeah.
But if anybody else tried to do that, it would look ridiculous.
Well, that's his talent, isn't it?
Right, and it was just funny realizing that fine line, and especially when they did like the Eternals, the movie, and it was just like, whoever designed the Eternal movies, they're all cowards. The fact that they didn't even try to kind of like get some of that grandness.
Well, this, yeah, right. I haven't seen it, so I can't say on that one. But I've said this before on lots of other podcasts, and I'll say it again because it's true. I don't understand why you would be interested as a company to buy a property.
Yeah.
You look at its popularity and all that kind of thing. You might even think it's good, you know. And then you buy the property, you buy the film rights, and then you make a film that's nothing like what you bought. Yeah. They don't look like it, they don't act like it. Everybody's changing color and gender and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When all I want to see is Icarus and the Eternals and all these people, and just not make. I know things have to change; they can't make it exactly like the comic,
right?
But I don't understand, like with Spider-Man. You see, what's happened to me in my mind is that when I read Spider-Man, it was about Peter Parker,
right?
And he happened to be Spider-Man, but now somebody puts the Spider-Man costume on, and they're Spider-Man, but they're not. Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Right.
And the story was about Peter Parker.
Yeah, but now on a corporate level, it's Spider-Man that's the IP. Yes. Spider-Man's the IP. Yeah. Peter Parker is not the IP.
Anybody
which means
can be
that anybody can be Spider-Man. Right. Yes. Which I think is to the detriment to these characters. If anybody can be them, then why bother?
Yeah.
What's
that's right.
special
about
that?
It's right.
Yeah.
And you know, I said it before, and I hope it's not taken the wrong way, because I've not got anything against anybody, but I could never understand on the new Fantastic Four film why the Human Torch had to be a black man, because he's not. He's blonde, blue-eyed American guy, and you've got to remember that the people who created these things, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, they're all Jewish. Yeah. So. You know,
well, it's diversity for the sake of diversity.
Exactly. It doesn't. Well, if it doesn't, like with Doctor Who, Doctor Who's a girl now. Why?
Why?
How did that improve it? How did it improve?
It did not.
I'm not against. I'm not against any kind of change, as long as it's better. It's like reinventing the wheel. Let's make the wheels square from now on because we want to change them. What's the point of that?
Yeah, it's kind of like it you know, it is like that type of the conversation is actually a trap, because it's like no matter how you answer it, it's that conversation is just going to go always wrong.
Always. I just felt the canceled stamp.
well, I'm a big boy now, and I'll say what I want. If I get cancelled, I get cancelled. You know, so it's only an opinion. It's only an opinion. This is this is like the cancel culture of today. That I'm not allowed an opinion because I'm 60. I'm not allowed an opinion. Well, why not? It's just as valid, more valid than most people because I've been around longer.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? So.
Well, you know,
that's just me.
But that could be its own, you know, that could be a whole, you know, another 2 hours.
But video, Daphne?
We don't have, let's play the video and,
Before I get in trouble,
Yeah, exactly.
The original intention of the film was just for my personal use, but I thought it would have been such a unique thing that I'd like to offer it to anybody who wants to see it. On the first visit, Jack took us into his another room, a separate room, and there were these brown parcels full of artwork piled up. And he said to me, "You draw like I do." We were in the studio for 5 hours, you know, it was fantastic. And there's this, he's got this desk, and everything he's ever drawn has come from this desk. And then I would just go with the flow, and that's what this film is about. It's just a unique film of him.
He says, "I beat you." He says, "They say we came in under the dead heat." He says, "That's not true because I beat you." And the American said, "Well," he says, "if you like to think so," he says, "but I know a real story." He says, I know I clearly won that one." Joe is 6'3", and I was a run, say, from the Lower East Side. And being Joe's partner was an advantage to me because Joe was believable. You know, they would talk to Joe. The Goodman brothers would get to know him. Martin Goodman owned Marvel at that time. He went to his mother and he says, "Look, Jackie got a job drawing." He says, "They're paying him part. They're paying him money for drawing." He says, "Suppose I go with Jackie." He says, and he said, "They'll pay me money." He says, "I'll draw and they'll pay me money." He said, "I'll give the money to you," which we did. We gave it all to our mothers. They called me from Nassau. You know, I lived in Long Island. And they say, "Would you like to come down and draw these guys in training?" I swear, this is not a story. And I said, "Yes, of course, I'd love to come down."
I mean, yeah, that's.
Can I just say that the film doesn't freeze on the DVD?
Well, no, absolutely not. No. It's like.
and also, the bird isn't on the film.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so you're going to get a proper DVD with proper sound and proper video.
Yeah, and the sound's a bit scratchy as you can hear, but it all adds to the magic of it, I think.
Right.
Because it wasn't professional equipment. If I went tomorrow, I'd get.
Oh no, absolutely.
No, for sure.
Different.
But
it's
30 years old, you know. So it's.
There's a particular charm to that. So.
You got to go with it, you know. But he was great. He was just fantastic. And he's just this small guy. I mean, I'm 6'1", so I suppose I'm quite tall, but he's about 5'6", I think. He's really. You saw him. He's really powerful. He's Ben Grimm, you know. He really is. He told me a story about when he used to go to school. He used to. With all the immigrants that were going to New York in those days, he'd walk where he lived they were Jewish. Then when he'd go around the corner and they'd be Irish. He'd go around the next corner, they're Italian, then German, and he'd have 5 fights on their way to school because they'd jump him. And he used to have he had a little brother, and David, he was called his little brother, and he said David was really tall and good looking with blonde curly hair, so he was a real target, and they knew who he was. And he'd be going to school, and Jack had walked a few paces behind, and when he walked around the corner, they'd all be going to get David, and he'd wade in and knock out 5 of them, you know. And I think he really enjoyed it. And one story he told me that's on the film, it's really, I'll give you this one, I don't want to give too much away, but when he was 15, right, when 15 years old, they were just building the Empire State Building, right? And his friend, who was about 10 years older than him, could fly a plane. So imagine this is what this would be 1932-ish, and he'd be planes had only been around 30 years then, and this guy had a plane, and it was one of those with the wings over the top and open cockpit. And Jack was sitting in the back of this plane, and this guy was flying upside down over Manhattan.
Oh, sorry.
Flying over the top of the Empire State Building that they were building at the time.
I don't know. I can't get past the idea of planes only existed for 30 years at this point.
That's right. Man, how good is that? How good? Yeah. I'd love to do that now. Wouldn't you fly upside down over Manhattan?
Oh no! Now you'll end up in an underground prison.
Yeah, but I'd like to do that. I'm not going to do it, you know. But imagine that. Right. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, he was the best thing out of the trip was meeting his wife, Roz. She was a woman. She was just fantastic. You know, really, really generous, beautiful woman. And but I think she was tougher than he was. You know, because she was. Is it Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man? She was really like that. You know, I mean, she'd be your best friend, but she'd probably be your worst enemy.
Right,
if you did anything, you know, she was great.
What the kids call it, the ride or dies.
Wow, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's really daunting, when I showed that film on in the theatre, watching your head 15 foot high, talking rubbish with people listening, and they're all sitting there behind you or alongside you, and you're thinking,
well, look, Harrison Ford hates watching his own movies. That's why he's never seen the Star Wars movies. He says it's it's like watching a giant high school photo. So.
When I go on these podcasts and show these little clips of me talking, I'm cringing. It's awful.
Wow,
it's terrible, really bad.
You kind of get used to it, or you don't. But on that note, I want to thank you for coming on our show. I want to thank you for showing us the campaign. So again, there's links in the show notes to the campaign on Indiegogo. How many days do you have left on it?
I think it's 17.
17 days left. So go check that out. And Glenn, tell the people where they can find you.
Get me on Facebook is probably the best thing. I'm on Instagram and Twitter and things like that, but I don't go on those a lot. So Facebook is probably the best place. I also publish a magazine called Comics Unlimited. And,
which I still owe you an article for.
You do? This is why I brought it up. Where is it?
It's coming.
So, and you can get all my stuff on Amazon and all that kind of thing if you want to bother with it. And just read it and tell everybody how wonderful it is and get them to buy it too.
There you go. So again, thank you again for coming, and we hope to see you again soon. The Jack Kirby, the book and the DVD. Yeah. So add that to your collection. So So on that note, Nita, do we have any? I guess just final reminders for people. I guess
real quick run through.
Oh yeah, Long Shots on Indiegogo. 7 books, 9 books, 7 publishers, 9 books, one big deal on Indiegogo. Put it in your collection today. You will definitely find a book that you love in this collection, if not all of them. So make sure to check that out. We also have the Oswald Chronicles going live on Kickstarter on March 21st. Just to make sure to sign up on the pre-launch page. Oh, everyone's acting up now. It's like, I know. Sign up on the pre-launch page so that you get notified the second it goes live. Because like I said, JD, he loves keeping everybody on their toes.
And speaking of going live,
join me today at 4:00 Eastern on my own channel where I launch Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn issues 1 through 4 live on Kickstarter. I will be showing off the campaign, showing you the 48-hour specials, showing what the first 40 people who pledged to the campaign get added extra to their pledge. And we're gonna do some work, some digital coloring on what will hopefully be a stretch goal that we will be able to meet. And everyone will get this artwork in there with their digital files, because it'll be a PDF exclusive. So, yes, and if you have any questions, comments, or an idea for a topic that you want us to talk about, catch us at raginabc@gmail.com. Email Nita, and we'll see if we can answer that for you on the next show. So again, thank you everybody for joining us. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thank you everybody watching us. Remember our new schedule. We are on Mondays and Fridays now. We're not 5 days a week because we have work to do. So, so we're starting your week and ending it. So we'll see you at 11 a.m. on Friday. We'll catch up, but you'll see me on Wednesday as well when I relaunch my art live streams on my channel and this channel on Wednesdays. What?
They'll see us both tomorrow.
They'll see us both tomorrow. Oh,
tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
Is from Outside the Box tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be there. We will be talking about the shows that cause childhood trauma.
Oh, there we go. So so you'll be able to see us there too. So you see, so that's why we can't do 5 days a week, because now we're doing all these other shows too. So again, eat your food, stay moisturized, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, nobody can ever accuse you of faking your accomplishments.
Yep.
And Nita, any last words?
Hit the button and peace out.
All right, ciao.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, sir.